Says taking on big tech ought to be a priority for all of us. Josh Hawley is a senator-elect. He'll be replacing Claire McCaskill in the Senate, representing Missouri. One of the first issues he confronts will be the president's renegotiation of NAFTA. Now, a minor change to the wording of that treaty could protect tech companies that decide to censor any content they dislike, something that they are obviously very anxious to do. Senator-elect Hawley joins us tonight. Senator-elect, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
On winning that seat. So I think most of our viewers are probably not aware of this. Most of them probably support renegotiating NAFTA. But this clause, tell us the potential implications of it.
Well, there are changes in the NAFTA agreement to what's called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. And what that is, Tucker, it's actually a deal that the tech companies get from the government that says that they can't be sued like any other publisher. They can't be sued like a newspaper. They can't be sued like a TV station. And supposedly what they're supposed to do in return from that immunity is they're not supposed to exercise editorial content or editorial control. They're not supposed to say, well, you can't express this political view or not. My worry is that these companies are increasingly censoring. I mean, they are censoring conservatives. They are censoring based on political viewpoint. And my question is, should they really be getting this special immunity from the government if they're also going to act like censors? And I think we need to take a hard look at that.
Well, it's not clear why they have it. I mean, if I libel somebody, I can be sued. Fox News can be sued. You're a senator-elect. If you libel someone on this show, you can be sued. But Apple cannot be sued, Facebook, Google, the rest. Why should the U.S. government favor those companies in a way that they don't favor my company, for example?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. And look, I mean, let's be honest. These tech companies, Facebook, Google, Twitter, they have gotten huge. They have gotten powerful. They have gotten rich on the backs of this special immunity that they get from the federal government, on the back of what's called Section 230. And I think it's time we ask some hard questions. Yes. They're monopolies now. They're very powerful. They appear to be using their power to try and shut down political viewpoints that they don't agree with, usually conservative. And I think we need to ask, do they really deserve these special deals and special carve-outs that have allowed them to get so big and so rich?
Now, you're not even in the United States Senate yet, and you're saying things that are truer and clearer and more forceful than any of the 100 members sitting there now. I don't want to wreck any friendships you might form once you get there, but can you speculate as to why all of this has been happening for the last decade and basically no one in the entire Senate has ever said anything about it?
Well, I just don't know how much attention this has gotten from folks. I think people don't realize, for instance, that these tech companies have gotten such sweetheart deals from the federal government. I don't think they realize that they get treated unlike anybody else, you know, that they're different from TV stations, they're different from publishers, and they're getting this special deal. And again, I think it's time to ask, do they really deserve to get this special deal if they're going to act like censors? We need to ask those hard questions.
How many phone calls do you think you're going to get from lobbyists after you get off the air tonight?
You know, it has never been my ambition to make friends with people who Congress ought to be investigating, frankly, and who they ought to be holding accountable. And look, we have a responsibility to the public to hold the big and the powerful accountable, especially if they misuse their monopoly power. My worry is these companies are doing that. So Congress ought to look into it. Congress ought to investigate this, and they ought to consider action.
Senator-elect Josh Hawley of Missouri. Great to see you tonight. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, this probably won't surprise you if you've thought about it for more than 10 seconds. The Me Too movement is having unexpected consequences for women.